Sabrina Shuck. She is the chair of the Scientific Advisory Board, and she's going to tell us a little bit about your favorite topic, professional development.
Yeah.
So, I just want to let you know what we're doing with the money that we raised last year for Hayden's Fund. I want to give a shout out the Hayden's Fund we've created in 2023 with a generous matching donor, specifically to set aside money for professional development and for retaining the fabulous staff that we have and being able to pay them money that is competitive with the public schools.
Thanks, guys.
And also provide professional development that we believe is better than a lot of other schools. So, and also to retain staff and keep them growing with us instead of recruiting from the outside. We want to keep the people that we have, and Hayden's Fund was established precisely for that. Last year, we raised $70,000 for Hayden's Fund, and some of the staff that received some of that money are here tonight with us, and I'd like to highlight where we spent that money. Lydia Steinhoff, our behavior specialist, has enrolled in and just completed, with honors I would say, the post-baccalaureate program in psychology at, what's that? At UC Irvine. So congratulations. And Shania Branson, special education teacher extraordinaire, the homeroom teacher for our archaeologists, was able to clear her credential, fully clear her credential, and she is a fully cleared educational specialist credential as well as single subject credential. Congratulations. And Sasha? Sasha Gombrowski, our program counselor, is getting certified to be a board certified behavior analyst, so a BCBA is what we call them, and she just completed her first year of BCBA certification after completing her master's degree, and we were able to pay for that supervision out of Hayden's Fund. And Patty Ramsey also completed her first year of certification as a BCBA supervisor. So we are delighted to be growing up from within and letting you know exactly what we're using our money for. And it's an honor to me that we were able to do this, and want to keep it going. So thank you all for all of your generosity this year, and thank you to the PTO and everybody for putting this on. This is just amazing and fabulous. So I'm going to hand it back over to Patty.
Thank you, Dr. Shuck. Let's give her one more round of applause. Because who doesn't like having more letters after their name? No one I know. So, as the Director of Students and Families, I play a pretty interesting role in a lot of the students' lives. I'm either the hero that rains upon fun shout-out parties and brings fun stuff to the school, or I'm the, oh, we should have made better choices conversation person. So either way, when you're bidding on a lunch for me, or not for me, with me, when we do the auction, I basically get to make all of the really important decisions. So if you want your child to have any kind of feedback about it, it's worth having an audience and starting the negotiations earlier rather than later.
Love it.
Thank you. Other than working with the students, one of my biggest privileges is getting to work with the staff here at TCS every day. If you're a staff member, can you just wave your hand in the air and say, howdy? There they are. So over 6 years ago, Dr. Shuck was like, hey, do you want to maybe develop the UCI program into like a private school maybe, or like a non-public school? And there is not one day that goes by that I'm not happy for that opportunity and saying yes to that and being able to develop this program into what it is right now. And that is not even close to being possible without the people that you see to your right. They are literally the bleeding hearts of this entire program, and it is impossible to do without them. Most of the staff know I'm a big Brene Brown fan. Anytime we're doing staff development stuff, it's my go-to. Because anytime I'm feeling, it's all good. Hey, let's do a little howdy. Yeah. Anytime we're going to do a staff development, I always go back to having us all define our values. And my top 3 values are belonging, understanding, and humor. Because humor, yay! Testing. Oh, look, there, that was funny. And humor, because how can we take ourselves seriously? Ever, really. And so, you know, when I say that they put the blood, sweat, and tears into this program, it's not a hyperbole and it's not a metaphor. Folks are outside running around playing basketball. We have a joke that's don't leave your feet, which means falling down. And the authenticity, all of the understanding that the staff puts into the students, they understand things that I never thought we would need to understand. Like, what is skibbity toilet? Why is it Sigma? I still don't know. And like the Pokemon, there's not just one. Apparently they evolve, they get bigger, they get stronger, there's energy cards. I had no idea. And that smashing isn't just about Smash Brothers. So we learn new things every day. That was for you, Stephanie. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, please go to Google. I'm going to be so much funnier after you guys know what I'm referencing. So when it comes down to it, every day we get to work together, and they've really fulfilled what my own personal legacy is providing a place to belong and to build a community. So I'm going to introduce next up one of our fantastic teachers, Ms. Danielle Payton of the astronomer class, to kick us off.
Thank you, Patty. Hi, everybody. So happy to be here tonight to celebrate an end of a really beautiful year at TCS. When the PTO moms were talking about ideas for the auction and they mentioned that country might be on the table as a possible theme, I was very excited. I grew up in Texas and have a lot of love for country music and boots, and I drove through a cow field to get to high school every day. So country is very close to my heart. But when they added the bling, I was very, very thrilled because the only thing better than country music is a little bit of bling. So I'm going to talk to you guys about bling tonight. A couple years ago, 2 years ago, I had some 5th and 6th graders in the marine bio classroom, and we were doing a lesson on rocks. It was a super fun lesson, and we had Twix bars, and we cut the Twix bars, and we sat on the Twix bars, and we melted the Twix bars, and we talked about all the different ways that rocks can form. And for whatever reason that day, the 2 girls I had in my class were super, super engaged in what was happening. And they were super, like raising their hands and participating and knew like all the answers. And I was just like observing because in general, they were less engaged in science in other lessons. So I was kind of like, oh, that's funny. And I sometimes try to make jokes with my students, and if I have taught any of your students, they've probably told you that my jokes aren't that funny, but I'm not Patty, but I tried my best, and I had like said, like just kind of like off the cuff, like, oh, like the girls are all involved in this lesson because, you know, girls, ladies, like we love big rocks. And so the kids were like, what? Like, what do you mean? And so I had to do an entire lesson on what a big rock is and how the bigger it is, the better it is, and the shinier it is. And like, boys, like if you ever fall in love, you need to make sure you get the biggest rock possible, like I promised. And they designed a rock for me, and it was like a whole thing. And so as I reflected on that day, I realized that, you know, I think we're all kind of drawn to shiny things for a reason, and I think the reason is right that shiny things catch our attention, and in particular, if we're talking about shiny things like diamonds, oh, just side note, I did explain to the students that the diamonds that we were talking about aren't actually rocks, so I didn't leave that part off the lesson, but But if we're talking about things that shine, right, they catch our eye, and the angle that we look at them from kind of changes the view. And so I am definitely drawn to shiny things. About 2 years ago, I kind of flipped my life over, and I had been teaching for a while, and I had decided that one day there was going to be a day that I decided, I was like, I don't think I'm ever going to teach again. I don't think I'll ever find myself in a classroom again. And I was kind of just feeling a little bit like teaching had lost its sparkle for me. I had lost its shine. And I was feeling a little bit hopeless in the education system that I was working in. I felt like I had too much to do, and when you have 90 students in front of you and you want to love all of them, it's a really big task. And so I had really discerned that I wasn't going to ever be a teacher again. So I went to the next most naturally fitting thing for a teacher to do, and I went and planned weddings for a while, and that was a really sparkly job. But it turns out that is also not perfect and ideal, and I'm so lucky that I knew about a hidden gem that existed called the Craig School. And I knew because my little brother Robbie had been a part of that school for about, I think like 9 or 10 years, like a long time. Like he would bring home TCS bucks in his pocket, and he'd take things from our house to take for Fun Day Friday. And I was like, I knew everything about the school, but I was like, I'm convinced like I'm not gonna teach again. And he's like, well, you need to just like give it a try, you know? And he's like, this is why, like, you're gonna love it, like, you're gonna get to do the part of the job you love, like, you're gonna have 15 students in your class, and you're gonna have a team, and it's gonna be awesome. And I was like, not buying any of what he was selling. So much so that when Rose called me to ask, they were interviewing for a teacher, and she said, hey, like, just, like, we're interviewing for a teacher, would you wanna interview? And I said no. And I was so proud of myself. I was like, I said no to something, like, let's go. And I was like, I'm doing this wedding thing, and, like, this is my future, and, like, you know, and then I was sick to my stomach for 2 days. And I really had to kind of consider like what I was passing up on. And I'm so happy that I called Rose back and asked for a second chance. And I'm so happy that what I discovered, what I think I discovered was a real diamond in the rough of education. And I think I couldn't have told you when I started the gift that it would be to watch my students figure out who they are in my classroom. And I would say that I underestimated the gift it would be to work with a team that knows way more than I ever know. It's just so beautiful to watch how our school supports families. It doesn't just support students. And Robbie and I, we grew up with a brother with autism. His name is Sean, and he's truly my biggest diamond in the rough of all of them, and I love him so dearly. But I have to wonder how different our lives would have looked if we would have found a place like the Craig School for him when he was growing up. Because he grew up in a time where there wasn't really anything that could support him and help him to grow. And, you know, I think it's obvious what our school does for the students, and I'm here to tell you what it does for the staff who have a chance to live out their dream job, an environment that supports them and helps them to grow. But I think the biggest gift that our school gives is that it collectively supports a whole family unit. And I know my family unit would have been different if we would have had a Craig School for my brother. And I think every single day I send him to his adult program, or I leave him at home tonight to be here, and I just like wonder, like, is he safe? Like, is he good? Is he protected? Like, does he have people that are gonna have his best interest at heart? And I know when your kids come to campus that they have all those things, and I'm really proud to be a part of that team. So I think this theme is pretty fitting, because boots, I think, to me symbolize a lot of hard work and building from the ground up. And I think the bling is like the small little shiny thing that we all have somehow found in our lives that have brought us to this room. So I'm really excited to celebrate that with you guys tonight, and just enjoy the gift that is the Craig School.
It's really easy going to work every day when we have teachers like that. Next up, I'm going to introduce been actually an alumni of the TCS program for over a decade ago. Someone that just by being who he is reminds me that I need to like refill my car Advil and my room Advil because we've been doing this a long time. But I get a lot of questions of, so where do kids go to high school? What happens after the Craig School? And I'd like to introduce Michael Kordick, and he's going to kind of give us a little update on the lessons that he learned at the Craig School and then kind of his life so far. So come on up, Michael.
Wow, in front of people. Okay, this is cool. Okay, I should probably talk about myself, huh? Look at me. What do you see? An emotionally unstable kid? Antisocial? Sad or lonely? I don't think so. At least, I hope not. Let's go to 8th grade me going into high school, okay? And I was much better prepared because of the skills and mentorship that I had received at the Craig School. They give me some vital skills in life. Tools to manage my emotions, social skills, to name a few. And I was scared to transition, but I didn't realize how much I had learned at the Craig School and how much it would help me moving forward. I ended up at a school called Capistrano Valley Christian School. I had lots of ups and downs throughout high school, and I could tell you my life story, and I would run out of time. Something very important to me is that I became a Christian when I was in 9th grade, and after I became a Christian, the faith aspect and the trust that God is in control really helped the things that I learned at the Craig School to sink in. And for example, learning how to shake someone's hand. At the time, social skills class seemed pointless to me. Maybe that was just me. But fast forward to the end of 9th grade, I had more friends that I could count, and many of which I actually still maintain up to this day. I was 100 times more social, and that was the best school year I had had in a long time. And I still shake hands with people almost every single day. So, imagine if I introduced myself to you like this. Hi, nice to meet you. I wouldn't go over well. Giving up. Younger me used to just give up when anything seemed further than arm's reach. And now I find contentment in current circumstances. And I know that there's going to be no point in life when I will have everything 100% figured out. But I seek to make steps towards goals, even if they seem far, and even if I'm only taking baby steps, it doesn't matter. I keep moving forward. So I graduated high school, and that was hard. I went to college and I got a certificate for computer maintenance technology. That was hard. I found a job, and that was very hard. But I'm very glad to be where I am now. I'm very blessed. And so that brings me to today. I'm a martial arts instructor at Karate for All. That is just so cool. Let that sink in. That is just so cool. If you don't know about the program, Sensei Wayne is a 4th degree black belt and an occupational therapist. He's my sensei. Karate for All is an all-inclusive program for kids of all ages and abilities. And if that sounds awesome to you, I will gladly tell you more. And I believe there's also a thing on the bidding thing that you can get. So but I'm so lucky to be a part of this, all of this. And I have a lot in common with your kids. And I know a lot of them are dealing with similar challenges as what I went through. But if I can make it, they can too. And now I actually get to help people who are just like me. And it's full circle. For all the students at the Craig School, I would tell them that you're not going to have it easy, but that's going to make you stronger. And God brought me through some difficult times, but that's only given me a stronger testimony. And at Karate for All, our motto is never give up. And I want everyone to say that right now. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Never give up. That makes me so happy. I'm going to put 2 quotes together that mean a lot to me, okay? Watch this. This is really cool. Romans 8:18 from the Bible, it says, "For I consider the sufferings of this present time are not worth comparing with the glory that is going to be revealed to us." Rocky Balboa says, "But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward." Now I'm going to put them together. So this is my advice to you. When life knocks you down, don't just get back up. Get back up and then remind yourself that whatever is happening is making you stronger. And that's hard to do. And I owe a lot to my mom for how far I've come. And that's why I asked my mom for the best advice that I could give to the parents here. And so this is what she told me. Be a good role model. Be patient. Notice the good things your child does. You know your child best, so be confident. That's what she said, okay? I would also say that the techniques that the Craig School uses to help your kids are very effective. And as it turns out, noticing the good things your child does is the #1 tool that the Craig School uses. So use them at home too. It works. And I hope my testimony was inspiring to you. On behalf of Karate for All, I want to finish with one word, okay? When we do certain moves in karate, we say kiai, and that's a powerful way to release energy and boost power. And so, on the count of 3, I want you all to scream kiai as loud as you can. Ready? Ready. 1, 2, 3, say kiai! Yeah! Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much, Michael. It's really, really inspiring to see our students go out in the community and find jobs that are just as exciting and satisfying as the folks that work at TCS. It's just like full circle, fantastic to have him back. Thank you so much, Michael, appreciate it. Next up, I would like to invite Mr. Robbie Payton to the stage. He's one of our lead counselors in middle school. He's known as the guy with the moves. So when we start going on the dance floor, please watch out, make space, or jump in. Any of those things would be welcome. And here's to tell us a little bit about the art of dance.
I can't believe y'all are going to let me do this right now. It's great. I think my job is to bring this home and tell you guys why you're here. And I want to start by saying on the drive here, I was thinking about what it means to be country music. And I feel like there's 3 main themes of country music, and I feel like we hit those pretty well tonight. It's an open bar, a room full of beautiful women, and let me tell you guys do country well, and a united cause. And you know, when I walked through the door of the UCI Child Development School just a little over a decade ago, I thought I was there to finish some credits, you know, finish some school. But what I realized is that I walked into a family. You know, and a decade later, I'm still here. And I'm so inspired to have you guys as my family. And I think the thing that we do well at TCS and what makes us different, what makes us special, is that every student, every family who walks through the door, you know, they're your kids, but they're our kids, right? They're our children, and we get to co-author in raising them and making them the best version of themselves. And you know, there's this form of dance. Like Miss Patty said, I love to dance. There's this form of dance, this line dancing, right? And when you line dance, there's something really rad about line dancing, and it's this. Line dancing provides a structure for you to know what you're supposed to do, but it also allows you the freedom to you know, make up your own moves in that. And I think that, at the heart, is what TCS is. I think we get to provide a structure for your kiddos, for our kiddos, but we get to allow them to be completely themselves at the same time, right? And that's the beautiful thing about, you know, getting to work there, is that every day I get to meet your kid exactly where they're at and help them become the best version of themselves.
All right, I would love if the staff could come just for like one big round of applause. Just like a really quick thank you.